Hopefully I don't, oh, there's the record. Okay, I was waiting a second to see that pop up. So as Devin mentioned, welcome everyone. I'm Jillian Schulten. I'm a partnerships manager at Credential Engine. I'm going to be kicking things off and then handing it over to our partners at WGU. But we're so excited to have you here for our Solution Spotlight webinar series, our kickoff webinar. And we're really thrilled to welcome our WGU partners for this first presentation that we're doing. And this is the first of a series, so we will keep you informed on what's coming up next. We have many more webinars planned, and we have a great page that Devin created that will highlight those as we prepare to start those. As I mentioned, this is a series, so we wanted to go through just the objectives of this series. And one thing that this series will highlight is how our partners are utilizing real-world solutions that utilize CTDL, the Credential Transparency Description Language. So we're going to share a link. If you're not familiar with the CTDL, you can take a look at that information. There's a great video just to make yourself more familiar with it and with Credential Engine in general. But the objectives of the webinar, just to go through these very quickly, we're hoping to promote awareness of these CTDL applications, highlight the real world impact, foster collaboration and adoption, educate our stakeholders on these solutions, and then really encourage some stakeholder engagement. So on that note, we hope that you'll utilize the chat, that you'll ask questions or provide comments during this session, and we will have a time for discussion. So if you'd want to come off mute later, we will have an interactive session for you. And finally, we do want to inform you that we've revamped our Solution Spotlight webpage. You can see that on the bottom of the slide here. We'll include a link to that page, but this page highlights the solutions that we have that are connected to CTDL, highlights our partners' work. We'd love for you to take a look at those, and we are always adding to that page, and those will be the solutions that we feature in this webinar series. So feel free to take a look, reach out if you have any questions, but we'd love for you to explore those. So with that, I am going to go ahead and kick over to, as I scroll too quickly, sorry. Our presenters, we have Darin Hobbs, Kymberly, Lavigne-Hinkley, and Cotita. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and thank you so much as always, Darin and team, for your willingness to present here. So I'll hand it off to you guys.
Thanks, Jillian. I guess I'll go first. I'm Cotita. I'm a lead business owner at Western Governors University, and I have been working on the WGU Achievement Wallet and in this space for about 5 years now. Darin, Kim, do you want to give a quick introduction before we dive in?
Thanks, Celeste. Hi, Kymberly Lavigne-Hinkley, Director, Learning and Employment Record Ecosystem at Western Governors University, and have been here working closely with the team now for about 2 years. Darin?
Hi, I'm Darin Hobbs. I lead our Learning and Employment Records Digital Credentials Ecosystem Development at WGU. I've been at WGU 15 years, 9 months. Former registrar. I've been working in this space 5 years or so.
All right, Alas.
All right, thank you. So I'm just going to start off by talking a little bit about how I approached the work of publishing our curriculum in CTDL to the registry, talk about our use cases a little bit, and then Darin and Kim are going to take over to show you how we've incorporated the data into the WGU and Indiana achievement wallets. Before I dive in, think about this. Are you actively publishing your data in CTDL? Maybe you're considering it but haven't started yet, or maybe you're still wondering how you might use it. I ask because when we started publishing in CTDL, we didn't exactly know how we were going to use the data. We knew it was important, and we had some ideas that mostly centered on including a CTID and an e-diploma. But a lot of the real value only became clear as we worked with it. I do want to take a moment to describe what things looked like when we started this work. A WGU provides competency-based education. We have 4 schools: business, IT, education, and health, and we offer a mix of bachelor's and master's programs. Especially in our undergraduate programs, the vast majority of our students come to us with some kind of transfer credit. We have fixed standard paths for each of our degree programs. Concepts such as electives, dual majors, or even minors, while common across higher education, aren't something we've historically offered. But all of our courses have always been underpinned with competencies, which we've made transparent to students in their degree plan. Over the past several years, we've also started aligning rich skill descriptors, or RSDs, to those competencies. We knew at the outset that this effort would be incorporated into our WGU Achievement Wallet project somehow. And I'll admit that when I first started, I assumed that putting our curriculum into CTDL would be simple. Just select whichever programs we wanted to publish first and add more later if needed. And that was not the first time I've been wrong. While the bulk upload process itself was straightforward, it soon became clear that our RSDs and competencies didn't neatly follow distinctions like grade level or school, and I would actually have to tackle the challenge more holistically. What followed was an effort to acquire about 26 years worth of data and then to clean it. It took nearly a year to get that done, which might tell you something about the number of disparate sources of data I had to pull from. And that actually turned out to be one of the most productive ways I could have possibly spent my time. That isn't to say that the data cleansing itself was an obvious win for myself or for WGU, but as I immersed myself in the data, I started to dream of how we might use it. And all that dreaming centered around the achievement wallet as the lens to give it focus. I could have the next slide. The first idea I had for how we could use the registry data was to support wallet users in finding learning opportunities that could help them close specific skills gaps, which you'll see when Darin and Kim show you the wallet platform. Imagine how useful it would be to be able to identify the precise learning opportunities available for you to pursue in order to learn the skills you need to achieve your desired career goals. Given my personal background in student records, where I spent several years performing transcript evaluations for readmitting students or students who were changing from one program to another, the second use case of using the wallet to be expanded to show academic pathways and using transfer values published in CTDL to allow students to understand how their prior learning can be applied to a new academic endeavor, something that really excites me. If you've ever tried to decode a transcript that feels like it was written in a forgotten language, you get it. Currently, I'm working towards building a data set in CTDL that will show how our internal course crosswalks are mapped with the aim of providing greater transparency to our students who are interested in a program change, readmitting, or even coming back as a continuing graduate. Imagine being able to see exactly how your prior learning applies. No guessing, no surprises. What would that have meant for you as a student? And that focus on transparency naturally led to another even more powerful idea: course level achievements. After all, if we can show students how their prior learning fits into a new program, why stop there? Why not also show them the skills they're actively building in each course? Throughout those months I was working on our data, our internal team kept coming back to the idea of adding a CTID for each program to our e-diplomas. But in doing all this work, I'd started to see our courses in a whole new way, not just as individual learning experiences, but as both containers for RSDs and competencies and as building blocks for programs. And I just want to share a quick story to explain why that mattered so much to me. Years and years ago, when I was in community college, I didn't exactly thrive in statistics. But I did earn my associate's degree, and when I transferred to WGU, that degree satisfied all of my general education requirements, including statistics. I went on to earn my first bachelor's degree from WGU. If I, as a student and wallet user, had simply had a single CTID for my whole program in my e-diploma, the wallet would have harvested all the associated skills data for every course in the standard path, regardless of whether I passed a given course at WGU or had satisfied it by transfer. In other words, the wallet would show I had proven statistics skills, and I definitely hadn't. So while putting a CTID in a diploma can make sense for some institutions, it wasn't the right fit for us with the wallet as our focus, since what shows up as a verifiable credential must be something that we have ourselves assessed and validated. If I could get the next slide, please. So with that in mind, we're currently working toward course level achievements. While this functionality isn't yet live in the wallet, we are pursuing both a short-term and a long-term solution. The short-term solution will involve manual interventions, including pulling data from our student information system on a regular cadence and matching that course data to the corresponding CTID from the registry, and then using a secure endpoint to pass the data to the wallet. Each user will be able to see their skills grow with every course they pass. That data can then be packaged in the wallet platform as a digital badge, allowing the user to represent their growing competencies in a format that's easily shareable and widely recognized. This granular approach to documenting skills not only aligns with our commitment to precision, but also empowers learners to take ownership of their educational journey, making each course a stepping stone toward their broader career goals. So that's it from me. I'll hand it over to Darin and Kim, who will show you the wallet in action. You'll get to see how CTDL helps users identify the next right step in their academic pursuits and how it truly is poised to be the backbone of course level achievements, ensuring each learner's unique skills and growth are accurately represented. We believe this approach will significantly benefit our students, providing them with an impactful tool to showcase their skills and competencies to potential employers and academic institutions alike. Kim, Darin, over to you.
Thank you so much. And I love hearing that journey, that arc that you went through. And before we begin, I simply want to point out that everything that you're about to see, well, most of what you're about to see is due in large part to the journey that Alas described to you that she went on. And it's because of her efforts in Credential Engine, understanding CTDL, that we've been able to bring what was before just ideas and dreams that the wallet could do, should do, to life. So Kim and I and WGU owe a tremendous debt to you, Alas, for all the work that you've done and continue to do to investigate how we can further exploit CTDL to create some magic for our students and for all individuals. So any of you who are interested in going down this path in Credential Engine, you've got a national SME right here that you should avail yourselves of. So with that, the WGU Achievement Wallet was basically conceived of through our work and participation in the American Workforce Policy Advisory Board's pilot projects around an LER and what it could look like and what it should do and some key principles that it needs to incorporate. And WGU was privileged to get to be a part of all of those pilots as an education partner. Upon conclusion of the demonstrations in 2019, the Lilly Endowment reached out to us and said, we would like you to do this in Indiana as a pilot project. So we did. And we worked on it for a year, taking the pilot concept to a live version of what we had demonstrated. Then Walmart further came and funded a second year and more of the project to allow us to enhance functionality, make it more elegant, automate a whole lot of stuff that we had to do manually in order to create what you're going to see today. The wallet platform consists of 4 separate functional areas: profile, credentials, skills, and pathways. I usually try to say this at the end, but I'm going to say it at the beginning because I always forget. And we're just scratching the surface. This will never be done. We will keep evolving, iterating, and adding feature sets and functionality, especially as Alas educates us on how we can further use CTDL and Credential Engine repository to add those features and functionality. Kim, my colleague, has been a faithful beta tester for us, so we always demo her wallet. And she, like all of our users, started by being encouraged to upload a resume so that we can create an initial skills profile for her based upon her prior experiences, learning, education, etc. So when Kim goes to her profile page, she is going to get an at a glance. And Kim, do we want to show that this is the same as the Indiana Achievement Wallet?
Yeah,
Now you can
so
see them.
I have been flipping between the two as you have
Perfect.
been speaking. So I originally had it on the Indiana Achievement Wallet landing page, as you can see here, which looks extraordinarily similar to the WGU Achievement Wallet landing page. We're going to use the WGU Achievement Wallet as the demonstration because I have kept this one a little bit more up to date, but they are the exact same platform. It's just the white labeling is different.
And we took this platform approach on purpose. We recognized that this lens into an individual's LER is best served through group participation. So anyone who uses the platform, we all get the benefit of those new learnings, insights, and requests. So Kim will go to her profile page, which gives her an at-a-glance of her current talent profile, her skills profile. She can see that she has 207 skills divided across 3 functional buckets. The buckets are defined for our users by clicking in the "What's this?" Kim can read what those definitions are. Then underneath that, she sees her skills profile without any filtering. Each of those blocks represents a particular skill, and as Lass has pointed out, those are defined in Credential Engine. But Kim can do something fun with her profile. She can run it up against a job role. And when she does, she's going to pre-select from what she's already added to her career pathways. We'll get to that. You can see now that her skills profile has changed. The solid blocks are where she matches the requirements for this job role of business analyst. The candy striped blocks, that's her skills gap. Those are missing skills. And by clicking on one of them, we can show her some rich information. And here you see our leveraging Credential Engine in action that Alas showed you a screenshot before. We can show the individual the opportunities at Western Governors where Kim can go and gain this skill. In the Indiana Achievement version, I'll point out that those users see Ivy Tech, Purdue Global, anyone who's got information in Credential Engine, we can show them at a skill level how they can go and obtain missing skills. On the left-hand side, we see what was taken from Kim's resume. She added her picture and LinkedIn page link, but we reflect back to her education and work history. Underneath her skills profile, we show her top 10 skills. This was originally recommended based upon the machine, but Kim's free to change those up. Lastly, we have a portfolio section where artifact and evidence from portfolio learning opportunities can flow into the wallet, or Kim can add things in individually, which we strongly encourage our users to do to support self-attested skill. The portfolio supports all your basic standard file formats, such as document, image, video, audio, and link. Kim, did I miss anything on this page?
You did not. We can go on to credentials.
So the credentials section is like it's the wallet proper of this platform. This is where the credentials that Kim earns will flow in. It's divided into 2 functional sections. The top is the new credentials area. These are credentials that Kim has earned, but she has not yet placed into her wallet. This is her record. This is her wallet. She gets to choose what she wants to put in her wallet. She will investigate a credential by simply expanding it out, read the description, see who issued it, go to the award date, or see the award date, and by clicking View Details, it takes her out to her system of record for this credential, which is Canvas Badges for WGU. She sees a lot more information, including the earning criteria that matters so much to employers. And then underneath at the bottom, all of the skills that are embedded with our competencies that this credential represents. As the last discussed, all of our competencies are denominated at a skills level. These skills are made publicly available through our open library on the web that's written in the rich skill descriptor schema format. This schema, maybe not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but that's because it's designed first and foremost to be machine readable and actionable. I'll point out the occupation codes section. which is where the IQ4 technology also takes advantage of this information in order to help align Kim to job roles at a skills level. If she's satisfied with that credential or not, she has some options. She can accept it, dispute it, or even delete it. It doesn't remove it from the system of record, just her wallet. Once she accepts it, it goes down to the bottom of the wallet. The status column, which formerly said new, now says active. We can also reflect whether or not a credential has been revoked. We can also show expiration dates on credentials when appropriate. The action toggle there to the right is how Kim decides how much information about her credentials she wants to make available to employers who are looking for her particular skill sets. Her identity is not included, just the information found within the credential. She can expand it out like she's done before. She sees very similar information, including the skills, although they're not hyperlinked, they're simply reflected back to her. You'll also notice that certain credentials, in fact, most of her credentials have check marks. That's what denotes or communicates the verified status of the credential versus that top one where the check mark is missing. That's because it is not verified. Kim, you'll talk about that as well as how we get credentials into the wallet.
Sure. I'll start with how we get credentials into the wallet. We have a section here at the top right, add a credential. We currently have 6 different ways students can add credentials into their wallet. These are somewhat customizable. And so a number of these are specific to WGU. For instance, we have an account with Instructure through Canvas badges, and that is what we have done or what we have shown you. And this is a direct sync so that students can have their Canvas credentials show up in their wallet. And we have a number of micro-credentials that are embedded within our degree programs where we provide these badges from Canvas, our technology provider. And our technology provider associated with issuing our badges. And so this direct sync will allow students to be able to immediately surface the badge into their wallet. The next is importing an e-diploma. This one is relatively new. We have recently been able to provide our graduates with an e-diploma, and this allows our students to be able to immediately surface their e-diploma in their wallet. The next is parsing a document. The parsing a document is relatively easy. It can parse a PDF, a Word document. Same with enter credential details manually, which I'll show you in just a moment. An example of one that I've entered manually, and then last, importing a link. This can be as easy as adding a link that one might have received for presenting at a conference, or if there was a credential earned at a conference, that can be added here. And then the last is pasting a JSON file. We don't expect our students, all of our students at least, to know what it means to paste a JSON file. So we'll be communicating what that means and how students can capture the JSON code in their credential and then add it easily to their wallet here. There are 3 ways here that allow students to add verifiable credentials. That's the Canvas badges, importing an e-diploma, and then lastly, pasting a JSON file. The 3, parsing a document, entering credential details manually, and then importing a link, allow individuals to add self-attested credential information. The intercredential details manually example that I want to show here is leveraging artificial intelligence. This is a credential that was earned at a conference, competency-based exchange network conference, and this actually went into my EBSCO wallet, and I was able to take that credential, manually add it here to the WGU Achievement wallet and have it represented, and have a skill associated with this credential that was parsed from the information that I included. Darin, do you want to go over to the skills section?
Well, before we do, weren't we going to show examples of course level achievements? And so Alas mentioned that we were going down this road, and this is not yet in production, but Kim has so many different versions of the wallet so that we can experiment and try new things. But this is the future that's coming, and this is where we leverage the power of the CTID. Kim, do you want to talk about these course level achievements?
Sure. So course level achievements are digital credentials associated with passing a course within a degree program at WGU. There are a number of reasons we want to move down this road. A couple of them include we want our students to be able to have digital credentials associated with the skills that they gain as they gain them, rather than waiting 4 years to get their digital credential associated with their degree. We find that current students will benefit from being able to see progress towards a degree while they're pursuing it. And we are also wanting to offer course level achievements so that our alumni without degrees, also known as non-completers, have the ability to have a digital credential associated with the courses that they did complete. We think that this will help shift the narrative away from stopping out or what might be perceived by an employer as failing to complete something, to the notion that education is a lifelong journey and that our students are achievers at any stage of the process in obtaining a degree or completing a course. And we think that by offering verified digital credentials associated with course completion, all of our students, current alumni, stopouts, will be able to use this information to advance in their careers immediately. And hopefully position anyone to come back to WGU when the time is right for them. So these are examples of what a course level achievement would look like in our achievement wallet. This is a proof of concept that we put together for a separate project called the Learner Information Framework. These are all in Open Badges 3, verified credential. And if I expand them, you'll see a somewhat similar set of information as you saw from my micro-credentials and my other version of my achievement wallet. As Darin said, I have a few wallets. And you'll see a description, you'll see the issuer, the award date, and the skill view with the skills keyword and the skills statement. And you have the ability, same with the other wallet, to delete the credential if this is something that you do not want represented. And you can see the verified check mark next to it. But you'll also see this code D265. This is actually directly referencing our courses that are built in Credential Engine, thanks to Alas, because as Alas said earlier, we have all of our degrees, our courses, our competencies and skills defined in Credential Engine that allows us to easily do, well, somewhat easily, Alas may argue, but it allows us to easily pull information associated with skills and competencies and courses into our wallet. Darin, is there anything I missed?
No, that sounded good. And I've been trying to answer some of the questions in chat while you were talking.
Okay.
Because I've heard your compelling presentation on course level achievements. And what Alas maybe had alluded to before, the reason this is so important to us is that our students may start in one version of a degree program, but finish with the same degree program, but a completely different version. So we have to be able to build the ultimate macro credential of the diploma based upon this granular level. In fact, I would argue that the e-diploma should not define the skills and competencies, that instead it is the roll-up of all of these constituent pieces.
And Darin, that's such a great point too, because our e-diploma right now, as created through our partner Paradigm, does not actually provide the necessary metadata that our course level assertions would provide to it in order to be able to see the skills and competencies associated with our degrees. Our e-diploma, as as it is right now, provides sort of what you would expect to see in a typical image file of a diploma. You have the degree program, you have any sort of course, the issuer, you have the individual, you have the signatures associated with it, but it does not provide the rich information that many of our micro-credentials have, which is another reason why it's so important for us to pursue course level achievements that would allow for all of that rich information to be included in the wallet and influence the skills T and the number of skills individuals have.
The last thing I'll say around this experiment, what we have learned right now, the credentials you saw earlier in Kim's wallet, those badges, the information within each of those badges exists in the repository, but we have actually built them on the badging platform with the same information. So we're doing the same work twice. So what ALAS has taught us and what this course level achievement exercise has taught us is, well, why don't we just create the concept of a credential and populate it from what's already in Credential Engine? And our technology vendor, through this course level achievement, has shown that, yeah, we can do that. We can reach into Credential Engine, grab the information, fill out or flesh out the template that you set up for the credential. And that solves so many problems and creates efficiencies and really optimizes the concept of this wallet platform and the LAR in ways that we feel very strongly about and are excited about. All right, let's go to skills. The skills section of the platform is simply where we show Kim all 207 of her skills. That's a lot of information, and conceivably it will continue to grow over time. So we give Kim several options to manage this list. She can filter between all the different skills, including between verified and self-attested, and the 3 skills buckets. By going into a skill, she can actually hide it or even delete it from her wallet. Certain skills may become less relevant to Kim over time, or that she doesn't want it to be used to show her job opportunities. She can manage that by deleting the skill or hiding the skill. But you can ask, well, then why do you provide all this information? It is an exercise in self-edification. We want our learners to speak the language that employers speak and understand how to translate their prior learning, their life experiences, their lived experiences, their education into the language that employers speak. So we provide this information intentionally in abundance. Kim can expand out a particular skill and see a description of it. The skills detail tab takes it even deeper. It's at a granular level, an expression of this skill that Kim now possesses, and she can telegraph this. This is how I demonstrate this skill. The proficiency tab further allows Kim to elaborate on how comfortable she is with any one particular skill, ranging from novice to expert. Now, if a skill is the result of an assessment where proficiency is assessed, that can flow in as a part of the data payload, and that proficiency would be locked for Kim, and she could not change it. But otherwise, she is free to do that herself. The sources tab shows where this particular skill came from, so that Kim is no longer in doubt about why is this skill here. She can remind herself, as she's done here, well, this was on my resume and came from my education. Oh, and I added a portfolio to support it as well. The check marks, just like with credentials, indicate verified skills coming from credentials versus self-attested skills where the check mark is missing. Kim can check that by clicking the sources tab. And that learning resources tab to the right is, again, the ever-present integration with Credential Engine. Skills may need to be honed again over time. They might need to be re-upped. So we want to show students, well, here's how you can do it. The whole intent of the Wallet platform is to create and show pathways to opportunity. So we've kept that in mind intentionally as we've worked on this with IQ4. Kim, you want to talk about top 10 and recommended skills?
The top 10 skills list on the left-hand side allows you to curate the list based on which skill you want to make a priority, and you can move them up and down here on this list. You can also click into them and replace skills if there's another skill that you'd like to emphasize. At the bottom, there is a recommended skill section, and this section emphasizes skills that are adjacent to those that have been parsed from information that has been added into the wallet, such as resume information or credential information, skills that you might have but are not directly connected to a verifiable source. And so you can easily add those here by selecting add. You can also search and add skills at the top of the screen. And if you begin typing in, it will prompt you. And then Darin, let's go to this career pathways section.
Sure. I'm just typing to a response real quick.
Great. And just a highlight here that I can't see any of the chat right now in presenter mode. So I'm excited to see some of the questions that have come up when not in presenter mode. Darin, do you want me to begin talking about career pathways?
I'll just go ahead and start. Marilyn, the skill descriptions come from two places, either publicly available information or our own rich skill descriptors, where our skills architecture have worked with employers to help us come to those definitions of skills. The career pathway sections, section of the Wallet platform is where our students or any individual using this platform can go on a journey of discovery. The technology will recommend up to 6 job roles based upon the preponderance of skills in an individual's skills profile. The top circle that is gray represents one of those job roles that was recommended to Kim by the technology. Where you see the colorized job roles, those are job roles that Kim has either accepted based upon the recommendation from the robot, or through the search bar up at the top, she looked specifically for different job roles, found it, and then added it to her career profile. The colorized wheel around each of those represents, at a glance, how Kim lines up to it. The black represents match skills, the blue represents her skills gap or missing skills. By choosing from among these, she may want to investigate further into the job role. She has chosen business analyst. So on the left-hand tray that came out, the first thing we get her to do, or she can do, is choose the location she's interested in. This matters because the information at the bottom of this tray that we will show you in a moment is specific to the location that she chooses. The description and when available, the video or day in the life of about the job role is provided to Kim so that she can learn more about what a business analyst does. The job roles, the similar job roles, like the recommended skills, these are job roles that Kim might want to consider as well and add to her career pathways section, which, by the way, you'll notice the garbage cans next to each of those. Kim can change this up at will over time, however she wants. The skills overlap, again, points out that she has 49 matching and 67 missing. By clicking into the missing skills, we once again, you see those training resources that are hyperlinked. There again, Credential Engine shows its power because we have, again, integrated and we can show Kim, okay, here's where you can go and get this skill. We are working with our technology provider to make that function, all of the functions, more robust so that it's not just a one-to-one, it is a one-to-many or many-to-one. We want Kim to understand that this credential offered by this institution actually gives me 10 of my missing skills. That's where we're going in the future. We remind Kim of her skills profile. Now we get into state-specific information. Kim chose New Jersey, where it looks like we have a 50-50 split thereabouts between baccalaureate and graduate prepared individuals who are currently doing this job role. We show projected job growth rates or decline up through the year of 2033. We show income capacity or earnings capacity information in the state that Kim has selected, New Jersey. And then lastly, these are employers in New Jersey that are looking to hire for this job role. Kim can look at each of these, select one, click learn more, and it will take her out to the platform where this job has been posted. She can read about the job, she can go and investigate the company if she wants, but if she feels like she wants to apply, she can apply for the job from that platform. And now she is better prepared for this job application because she knows the language of employment, which is skills. She also has all of her talent at the ready. So Kim may want to first curate a record. Kim, you want to talk about that?
Sure. We are working on two ways for individuals to be able to share information out of their wallet. The first one is the Share My Wallet function. This allows an individual to very granularly curate a unique perspective into their wallet, and they can go through each of their sections and select what they want to include and what they do not want to include. This is really important because the philosophy here is that individuals have control over all of the information in their wallet. It is their own data associated with their education and their work history and their skill set. And we want them to be able to use it in the way that's going to be best for them. So again, I can go through each of these sections and curate my unique view. And you'll see here it says coming soon. This is because I'm in the production version of my wallet. In QA version, I have this turned on. And so what it does is it shows me a URL. I can select copy link here. And I've actually done this. And so hold on, I have a couple versions of my wallet up here, and I think it's this one. And this is what a unique view into my wallet might look like. I curated this view based on my top 10 skills list. And so as you can see from my profile, I have just 10 skills that I have included. And if I go into my skills section, you'll see here, I have those specific 10 skills for my top 10 list because those are the only ones that I want to share out. And then if I go back to credentials, I believe I've selected 3. And you can see here, I have chosen these 3 credentials. And this is important because an individual may have a number of credentials, but if they're applying for a specific job opportunity, they may not want to emphasize all of them. They may want to emphasize a certain set of credentials that are directly related to the job opportunity that they're interested in. Another way that we're looking to allow students to use to share information out of the wallet is through a partnership with an organization called Identify and their product Smart Resume. We have put this partnership in place because the resume is still the most familiar method to apply for jobs, both from an individual and from an employer. And so we're thinking about this process of employers consuming information associated with digital credentials and skills very incrementally. While ATS systems may not be able to consume digital credentials yet, or even be able to make visible skills that an individual has, or may not make visible all the skills an individual has. We wanted to be able to allow students to be able to use information in their wallet and share it with employer in the hiring process immediately. And so that is why we move forward with this partnership. Smart Resume allows, Smart Resume and IQ4 partnership allows for students to be able to share their name, email address, top 10 skills, and all of their digital credentials from the wallet into the Smart Resume platform. I have the ability to fill out additional information here if I want to include more information about myself in my Smart Resume. And I have the ability to format this page and what I want my resume to emphasize. once I am done formatting, I can click View My Smart Resume. And once I click on it, hold on a second, I think it just logged me out. I've had it up a little bit too long. Okay. Well, this is mostly working here. Once I select View My Smart Resume, what it allows me to do is go over the credentials section, and when I hover on a specific credential, I can select that credential and it will verify on the spot. This is important to employers because it will allow them to be able to do that verification process the second that they receive a resume from an individual, which could potentially save them time and money on the background check process associated with verifying credentials. If I don't want to share a digital version of my smart resume and would prefer to send a PDF document, I can do that as well by selecting Download PDF, and then it creates a PDF smart resume for me, which looks a little bit like this. And as you can see here, I can do the verification through the QR code at the top, but it includes all the information that I have made visible in Smart Resume from my wallet.
Okay, I think at this point we've concluded our demonstration. I will point out that this platform is available to anyone who would like to use it and adopt it. We've pointed out that it exists as the Indiana Achievement Wallet. It's a WGU Achievement Wallet. There are others looking into it. So please do not assume that this is a WGU solution that we own and that you can't use. If you see value and power here for your own use case, by all means, we are happy to facilitate a connection between you and IQ4. And one of the things I'll point out, because I do see a particular question in here about different wallets and mobile app. Through a different project, IQ4 is certainly looking into making iOS and Android native application of this platform. However, it is already at present mobile responsive. Furthermore, we're in conversations with IQ4 about making this platform available to different wallets, as in everything you saw is about the individual, not our institutions. So if I am an individual that enrolls at WGU, I'm going to use the WGU platform, but I want the wallet I already have that I'm comfortable with to be a part of that platform. So IQ4 is working to make that happen. In fact, they've recently demonstrated through proof of concept the ability to incorporate the DCC, or Digital Credentials Consortium wallet. They're also looking at working with another large provider of wallets to be able to allow that to happen. So I hope that answers the question from Nick.
Darin, I want to answer a question from Michael.
Okay.
The question was, would like to know more about how you engaged employers to define their requirements for the employer-facing app. First, we do not have yet an employer-facing application. The Smart Resume application that I demonstrated here is one that individuals can use to demonstrate the credentials and skills from their wallet in a resume format that they can share with employers. However, your question brought up something really interesting to us, which is an employer-facing application. We have been working on a project called the Learner Information Framework that was supported through the Gates Foundation, specifically on the underlying infrastructure that would allow for individuals to be able to share information from their wallet, such as digital credentials from a variety of sources, and skills information to a consuming entity like an employer-facing applicant tracking system or human resources information management system. We did that through the framework that the Gates Foundation helped to create with a number of partners. Our demonstration project focused on 3 different standards, Open Badges 2, Open Badges 3, and LERRS, Learning and Employment Record Resume Standard. And have that information go from our wallet into something we're calling the lightweight viewer. The lightweight viewer was created to mimic an ATS system and what it might look like for ATS systems to be able to consume this information. The lightweight viewer is an employer-facing platform. And it was designed specifically for this demonstration project. It was not to be used externally. And what we have done with that is once we were able to successfully demonstrate the information from an individual's wallet in those open standards, moving from the wallet into the lightweight viewer, and the lightweight viewer allowing for digital credentials and skills to become visible to employers. We worked closely with partners at the Aspen Institute to gather employers. We worked with 12 different employers. They were primarily larger corporations in a variety of industries and with a variety of levels of individuals within each of those employers, to provide us with direct feedback on what it might, the value of the lightweight viewer and the value of being able to consume information from an individual's wallet, like skills and digital credentials. We are in the process of having that put together in a very large report, and are going to be releasing it publicly likely within the next month and a half, but sometimes it's hard to say. But we will make sure that that is able to go out to you when it's ready. It's going to be full of very useful information for anyone who is currently trying to understand this wallet to employer connection, or this trying to bridge the gap between the value of digital credentials and skills to individuals and the value to employers. And so I just finished going through the first draft of it, and it's very exciting. And I wish I could share more, but I cannot yet. But we'll be sure to share it with Credential Engine so that you all can share it out.
Deb, I see you are on camera, and I don't know if you wanted to speak to something. Otherwise, we'll keep addressing questions as best we may.
No, please go ahead.
So there was another question earlier from Dawn about framework. And prior to that, you asked how do skills overlap and aggregate meaningfully over time, source of essential workforce skills, so, and then framework. So the platform is taxonomy agnostic, meaning it can use any taxonomy or framework of skills. So if in a use case, someone wants everything to be related to the NICE framework, for example, from NIST, it can do that. Sadly, there are, there's the IBM talent framework. I don't know that it's publicly available. Frameworks around skills and taxonomies in particular is absent in most cases. In fact, the few frameworks that do exist are the exceptions, not the norm. So the idea is that skills should be represented in relationship to something else. That's why we show the talent profile running up against a job role. This job role says that these are the skills I need, here are the skills you have, and neither of which is necessarily taxonomically defined. You did, however, ask about essential skills. So that's our word for so-called soft skills or foundational skills, and how our skills architects determine whether or not a certain skill fell into that category versus a professional skill. For example, the skill of leadership, without any context, leadership, Would that be a professional skill? Would it be an occupational skill, or would it be a soft skill? And I think it all depends on the use case. So the military might consider leadership an occupational skill, whereas higher ed might consider it to be a soft skill or professional skill. I don't know that that helps with your answer, Dawn, but that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. I saw another one in here. Looks like, Devin, you've got a two-part question. Or no, Kevin's asking, can verifiable credentials be customizable at the college level? And I'm not for sure if your two thoughts are a further elaboration on that, but I will say this first before I get into your two subparts. And Kim, I'll ask either one of you, say, Darin, we've heard enough of your Southern accent. We'd like to talk too. Your credentials can be defined in a way that you deem is appropriate for your institution. At Western Governors, we developed what we call our achievement architecture, where we have defined the difference between a credential, an achievement, and award, and what makes those what they are. And one of the prevailing requirements for an academic credential is that it have external market value. We're not going to create a credential just because we can. Now, don't confuse that with course level achievements that you saw earlier, because you notice we call those course level achievements and not course level credentials. And don't get hung up on the use of the word credential, because everything that's represented digitally can be considered a credential, if you will. But if in the marketplace there is value for something, we will credentialize it. If for student individual value in terms of showing my growth, showing my progression, leaving with something, as Kim said, in the event that I am an alumni without a degree, those would probably considered, as we're calling them, achievements that can stack up into a credential, and should, and oftentimes do, if not in every case. Our credentials that you saw in Kim's wallet are made up of competencies, which are embedded within courses. So all of the courses must be completed to satisfy the competencies represented by the credential, and then all of the attendance skills. First part, if you go to course level, maybe faculty see competency achieved if a student obtains an 80 or higher in one course and a 90 in another. I think that your institution is free to set your thresholds, though I would encourage consistency. Can credentials be at the grade level in the course? For example, you have a module in a course, and you have to pass that module at a certain level. This is slightly different than course completion. I think that's absolutely correct. In fact, in our competency model, it is a binary. You either pass or you do not pass. So in order to satisfy the course, I could see at a module level, you could set a certain criteria similar to that.
And I also just want to mention that there might be questions in here that we have not gotten to in this presentation, and we would love to follow up with any of you that it's interested in diving into this more. There's so much that we can learn from each of you and your perspectives and your organizations, and would love to find time if you're interested. We're also happy to dive even further into the achievement wallet, or into the course level achievement work, or into any of our partnerships. And again, we are more than happy to set aside time to speak with you all individually.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for presenting. I learned so much today. I'm going to go back and enhance my wallet. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to present. If you have questions, please reach out. But thank you again for kicking this series off amazingly. And I hope everyone has a great day. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.